right, before we wrap things up, I also want to talk to you real quickly here about IP addressing. All hosts on a network must be identified with an address on that network. Okay, this is how communication actually happens. You have to have an address. Addressing in computer networks is very similar to how addressing works with something like the postal network. Okay, so if you've ever mailed a letter and wondered how does that letter actually get from you to the person you mailed it to, well, it's because there's the postal network. Okay, and again, if you're going to put a letter out on the postal network, you have to put an address so that it knows where to go. Or another form of network that uses this would be the telephone network, right? Everybody's phone has an address. We call it a phone number. Well, computer networks work similarly to that. Now, there are both private and public forms of addressing. The private addressing is what is used to keep communications safe within the boundaries of a private secure network. And if you're using private addressing, it prevents you from communicating with the internet and it prevents the internet from communicating with you. Whereas public addressing is what is used to allow communications with the outside world, again, most typically known as the internet. Now, again, don't think too much into this because, well, we're going to see later on in the course when we get deep into IP addressing that you can actually have a private IP address which keeps you safe and secure from the internet, but yet still be able to go to your favorite website. Okay, there are technologies that make that happen. But again, you've heard me say this how many times in this lesson already? We'll talk about that later on in the course.